Come to South Carolina. I'll be your tour guide. We have many destinations for your liking, but our most popular town is Charlestown. This bustling town and surrounding ones have beautiful surroundings and nature, yet they stay safe and secure with our strong walls built around the town and drawbridges to keep from going into rivers. You can take a boat to Charlestown for £5 sterling. Just sail up the coast of South Carolina until you get to a small peninsula surrounded by the Ashley and Cooper River. Once in Charlestown, if you feel you want something a little deeper into the surrounding nature, you can make your way to my two favorite nearby towns, Quaker's Meeting or Johnson's Half Moon. These two towns have less walls and security, but that's what makes them great for adventure into the beautiful South Carolina forests. Charlestown was named after our deceased King of England, Charles II, but for only £5 sterling, you can come to Charlestown and live like a king too. My souvenir is the indigo plant from South Carolina. One of South Carolina's best ways of becoming one of the wealthiest early colonies was largely due to their exports of rice, tobacco, and cotton. But their specialty was definitely their exports of indigo dye from the indigo plant. Every other English and non-English colony was exporting things like rice, cotton, and tobacco. They were all cash crops with growing demands. But the indigo plant and the dye that came from it was brand new, and it specifically came from South Carolina and its largest town, Charlestown. That is why I chose the indigo plant as my souvenir.
One of the biggest parts of colonial travel were the accommodations. There were inns scattered throughout many of the colonies. In South Carolina, you can stay in the various inns or smaller houses throughout the area. In some cases, you may even want to camp. These places to stay usually provided you with picks, which were tightly woven canvas sacks filled with straw, and they were used as mattresses. A lot of the time, there would also be a softer woolen or feather mattress placed on top. Many inns posed as a restaurant too. There were also taverns scattered throughout the town. Those were your two main sources of food. Stagecoach fares often included lunch, which was provided by some inns. These houses and buildings were mostly made from wood, brick, and in some cases stone. A fun fact is that South Carolina laws stated that all houses must be made from brick. However, this law went overlooked and many houses were made from cypress wood and yellow pine. A great souvenir to keep from your trip to South Carolina would be a South Carolina dollar. They're being printed in some of the earliest mints. You can obtain a bill in many ways. Simply giving an item in exchange for a bill is one way. Throughout the colonies, money is labeled in very similar ways, but they can have completely different values. Another reason this would be a cool souvenir is that it's completely regional to the colony of South Carolina, and you won't be able to find these dollars anywhere else throughout the colonies.
Hi, my name is Avery Kaplan. I'm the recreation director, so I'm in charge of the sightseeing in South Carolina. One of the many things to do in South Carolina is visit Charleston. Charleston is a rapidly expanding city. It has beautiful ports, and you can have an amazing experience while in Charleston. Another great thing is the beaches of South Carolina. We are a trade center, so we have many different products. So if you need a product, you can come to the beaches of South Carolina and trade. You can visit the Blue Ridge Mountains. They're very beautiful. They have blue ridges. They're very impressive. And during the time, in the colonies, they used paper money, but instead of it just being a dollar, they tied the dollar/bill to gold, silver, or land. So people would create these bills and tie it to gold, but what would happen is they would make so many bills, they would inflate the economy, and they would have to change systems. The method to see South Carolina is by foot or horseback. The less wealthy would travel by foot. You could travel around Charleston. You can hike in the mountains. But if you're a little more wealthy, you can go by horseback, and this will allow you to travel further. So you can go all the way to mountains, and you go to Charleston and all that. And another way is also with horses, but a carriage. This is for quite wealthy people. These carriages, they were a major luxury because they didn't have to actually ride the horse; just rode in it. In South Carolina, we're a big trade center. We have many slaves in and many imports. So I did the souvenir as like a sailor, and this just represents how many boats were going through Charleston Harbor and all that, and it really just represents the expanding wealth and technology that was helping out South Carolina grow and become a bigger and better colony.